Hello NBN, Shannon here from I Cook You Serve. I'm joined with Ashley from Unity in Motion. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So how did Unity in Motion get started?
Okay, so Unity in Motion was founded 5 years ago after I met my now business partner Charles on a course that was all about self-development, transformation and change.
Nice.
Charles had been working in the BBC and ITV, and I was working at a creative agency called Amplitude in Northampton. And we decided to take what we had learned and forge our own path and set up our own company.
Nice. Well, I love the forging of the path. That sounds amazing. I'm really looking forward to this podcast with you. So it all started from a personal development area. So for you specifically, how did you get into video? Because Unity in Motion provide film and TV video.
It came through my teenage years. I was very active in music. I was a rapper. I did a lot of recording. I did a lot of performance. And when it came to deciding what I was going to do next, I thought video would be a good medium because it blends sound and it blends visuals. I didn't want to just learn everything I could about music and sound. I wanted to kind of broaden my creative outputs.
Nice. So how did you come up with the business name Unity in Motion?
That's a good question. Gosh, we toyed with a lot of names, and it's really hard when you're trying to come up with a name. And we ended up settling on Unity in Motion. I think it was actually Charles's friend's mum said something about unity, and then we thought unity and motion, and it kind of exemplified what we were about, working together and moving forward.
Brilliant, I love that. So tell us a little bit about the services that you guys provide.
Okay, we're a full service video production company, so we can offer services and video production to smaller companies and one-man bands, all the way up to big corporates and large global brands, and near enough everything in between. We do a bit of animation, we do a bit of stock footage and voiceover. We like to be versatile and kind of put our hand to any kind of medium to do.
Nice. So one of the really nice things that I like about your guys' videos is that you don't all just look at your clients and who you're working with and understand their needs, but you look to what your business is, the business that you work with, you look to what their audiences want as well. So it's so much more than just working with one person, it's or one business. It's much bigger than that for you guys, and I really like how you get that across. So you mentioned some of the bigger businesses that you guys work with. Tell us about them. Who are they?
Okay, so
great list.
We've worked with quite a lot of different brands. One of our earliest was Wimbledon Tennis, Stella Artois. Recently this year we worked with Reebok and Chanel. We also do a lot in the aerospace industry, and we've worked with the European Space Agency, Airbus, and a couple of those other big space exploration brands. This year we were also the official media sponsors of Paris Space Week, which is really cool. And we're actually their sponsors again for next year. We've worked with travel, such as the English Heritage Cities. That was a really, really cool, fun project. As well as a few different corporates, such as telecommunications and things like that as well. So we have quite a wide breadth. And I think because we've been based in London, it's helped a little bit, whilst also me living in Northampton and us working with Northamptonshire-based brands as well.
Nice. So just jumping in and picking on the English Heritage videos that you did, tell us a little bit about that.
So that was great. We were given, I believe it was about 16 cities of the UK to film within about 8 weeks. We got given a list of the different things that they wanted us to show. Yep. And we went around and filmed these models experiencing all the great things within these cities, all the historical areas and historical churches and cathedrals and so many things. I think that project is probably one that is most fond of mine. It was the one that made me think, wow, this is what I got into it for. It was a beautiful summer, like in 2018, just hit the road every couple of days and we'll be in these beautiful cities doing beautiful things.
Oh, I really like that. So tell us about some of the packages that you guys provide from, you said from small businesses all the way up to massive names. So yeah, tell us a little bit about those.
So we like to work with a client to get them to their outcome.
Nice.
So for the bigger brands, it's usually quite defined. They'll be like, we want to promote this product, or we want to use these videos for this campaign, which gives us a bit more of a guideline that we can work within. But whereas when it's sometimes a smaller business, they may not know directly what they want that video to do. And it's there that we really spend the time to learn more about their business, learn more about who they're trying to get in front of and what messages they need to share. So our approach is quite flexible, but that is one thing that I would say is very integral to what we do. It's that deep dive and that strategic look at what that video can do to get you a return on investment.
Brilliant. I really like that. So tell us a little bit about the initial meeting, the process from that initial meeting to the end video for the smaller businesses that you will find within the MBN group, say.
So our approach there would be to, again, have that kickoff meeting where we look at your business, how long you've been in business, who any possible competitors are, where your strong points, where are your points that media could assist with. And then we really start to form a plan. You know, does it need to be one bells and whistles video, or does it need to be a few more smaller communications that could engage your audience over a slightly longer period of time?
So within that process, I imagine there's a lot of questions that you have to ask, and something that I really like about doing these podcasts and about just learning things in general is it's usually about asking the right questions. So how did you guys work out what were the right questions, and what brought out in the business owners that you worked with that you thought, wow, this can really move their business forward within media and within video?
I think it was a process of distillation. It took a while. Again, from me and Charles meeting and forming Unity Emotion from a course that was about self-development, transformation and change, we realized that oftentimes we don't get asked a lot of questions that can help us think outside of the box or think outside of our normal parameters. So it took us a while to learn what the right questions could be for video. Because when you begin a business, you don't really know what you're doing. Quite simply, we were in our mid-20s and we were just trying something out. So we learned a story, actually. I'll start with a story. Our mentor at the time said, okay, if you guys want to run a video production company, you know, I can assist you with that. He was the founder of the course that we met on, the Progressive People Network. And he was kind enough to house us within their offices in Mayfair.
Wow.
It took me a moment to click where we were, because I thought, wow, this place is nice. We were in London and, you know, people will actually slow down to let you cross the road. And I realised that's the top of the Monopoly board. So they housed us in their offices and said, okay, guys, great. We can be your first client. You can make videos for us and we can give you tuition and help you grow. And the founder said, okay, you guys want to do this? Are you sure? We said, yeah, we really want to do this. He said, go outside and go knocking on doors in Mayfair.
Gosh.
What you do and try and drum up some business. That was our first lesson, our first real lesson. And it built us a thick skin. We got used to people saying no, but we also got used to finding the right pathway. Learning, are we talking to the person we need to speak to? Have we presented ourselves and what we want to do in the right way? You know, we learned a lot about communication and opening doors, and we kind of took that ethos into our approach with our clients to ask them deeper questions that can help them see the wood from the trees, I believe the adage is, to kind of actually realize what they want from video, instead of, someone saying, oh, I just want a video for the website. That's not really, that's not really an outcome. It's like, okay, well, what do you want people to do? Have you got something specific about your business that's unique? Have you got a new innovation that people are after? What is the thing here?
Well, thank you for sharing that story with us. I think that starting off in an office in Mayfair is an amazing way to start your business, and to build your business from there. So yeah, the Progressive People Network sounds pretty amazing. That sounds really good. And I cannot imagine knocking on other business doors within that area and that community. That must have learned a lot during that time, as you said. So
yes, we were in the centre, around the corner you had Victoria Beckham, you had Vivienne Westwood, you had a lot of shops, you had a lot of galleries, you had a lot of places that it was terrifying.
yeah.
It was completely and utterly terrifying to begin with. But once we realised that, the worst someone was really going to say was a no, or my boss is not in, or, I can show you around the shop if you want, guys. That was pretty cool. Some people just showed us around and kind of gave us a warm welcome. I think it's really important for anyone who's building a business or trying to do something new to do things that can get them out of their comfort zone. Do things that you wouldn't have the courage to do one day. You wouldn't have thought you had the courage to do day one, because it can build a lot of character, and it can allow you to know that, fear is one of our biggest blockers within life. Generally, it was instilled in us from many generations ago, when the world wasn't as safe as it is now. When you were out and you could be attacked by a wild animal, let's say. Whereas now, fear manifests within us thinking about things we haven't done yet.
Yeah. Wow, thank you for sharing that with us. So going back to Unity in Motion, you also provide media strategies for businesses. So tell us a little bit more about this.
So our media strategies are for brands that want to grow over a longer term, that are aware that they may need to up their communications. And we spend that time to craft who they are, who their brand is, what are the aspects of their brand that they can communicate over a longer period of time, be that 3 months, 6 months, 9 or 12. This allows us to work with them to create media that tells a longer story and make sure that their audiences have all the information that they need to trust and purchase from that brand.
Brilliant. Wow. So something else you guys offer, and I was really quite surprised, but really pleased to see this, was that you also develop brands into thought leaders. So tell us a little bit more about this, because I think that this is something that, first of all, we're always looking for, to be a brand leader or to kind of be an expert within our field. And I think in previous conversations we've had, you are always pushing and encouraging. Actually, you don't just do something, you flourish in it, or you really encompass it. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about developing brands into thought leaders.
Okay. Well, to be a thought leader in your industry, it requires awareness, it requires foresight, it requires specific strategies, and most importantly, it comes around again, it involves confidence. And for our clients that choose this option, we really take a deep dive and an analytical approach with them to help them really stand out in their field. One of the unique aspects of myself and Charles, my co-founder, is that we're both coaches and mentors. Since we started the Progressive People Network, we stayed with them, we grew with them and became coaches and mentors. We have our own mentees, and we coach and advise with them. And this means that we're able to build deeper relationships with our clients that want to become thought leaders with our additional services, such as the coaching, the mentoring, and the advising. And with this, we advise them on the different ways that they can etch out their own footing in their desired industry.
Nice.
The aspect of Unity Emotion that is quite unique is that analytical approach, that way of really looking at different industries to understand what their problems are and their needs are. And that's why moving into places like the space sector for us is fascinating, because we're able to see how we can drive change and help those brands with their communications.
Oh. Well, before lockdown, we'll come on to lockdown in a minute, but before lockdown, you were running workshops within Northampton. I think many people within the Northampton Business Network were coming along to them and had great success with them. So are there any future workshops in the planning? Are there any online? Tell us a bit more.
Yes, so I've currently been working on the next stage of these workshops. I think they will incorporate a bit of the thought leadership edge to it in terms of how applicants or how attendees can utilize that content to really hit their desired audience. And that may not be like just a video to put on LinkedIn. It may be something they create for a certain band of clients or band of a person that they really want to be seen in front of. I think that's how I'm evolving that product until we can be physically present again and have all the fun that we do within those workshops.
Brilliant. Well, I really look forward to those, and I will put the link within the group when they are ready. So how has your business changed during lockdown?
So we were quite lucky towards the start of lockdown to be in the middle of a couple of projects, which kind of kept us busy at that point in time. We then did quite a pivot into doing some animation-based projects with voiceover work on them, and a little bit of stock footage as well, as and where needed. Happy to say that last week we had our first physical shoot again since March, keeping social distancing, of course, and that went really well, and it felt really, really good to be back out there again. It can be quite challenging for someone who's been used to being out, behind a camera, every couple of weeks, to all of a sudden being behind a screen, making, doing our operations from there.
Excellent. So something that I would so pleased to share with the group, and I really want you to go into the good stuff on this, is that you guys have set up Unify. So elaborate a little bit more on this.
Okay, so Unify is an open forum event bringing together key people within the industry. Charles and I did our first one 2 years ago, which was in the Warner Brothers studios in Soho, which was really cool because that was where they did all the sound mixing for the Harry Potter films and stuff like that. And we brought together different heads of industry. We had Chike Okonkwo, who was a Hollywood actor. We had Nancy Rowe, who's head of diversity and inclusion at Sapien, one of the biggest media agencies in the country. We had a really interesting company called Lab, who do neuro design, looking at how people interact with websites and making it better. Wow. And we had an open conversation about the future of the industry. It was very insightful, and it helped a lot of people kind of see their part within the industry. We're now doing it again, and it's a really interesting time to do something that's discussing what the future of many different industries could be, this one being specific on the creative sector. And it's something that is very interesting to me, and it's something that I'd love to do within Northampton at some point, because I've seen in Northampton there is a lot of creative agencies, but there's not much unification. There's not many times where we all come together and talk about things and bring together stats, bring together findings and ways of working together. Everyone's kind of siloed, and in this day and age, I think it's important for us to share and to be okay with being vulnerable sometimes, to really share difficulties or challenges that each other are facing.
Well, I really like how the event that you're running, Unify, um, just really comes back to your business name and everything that you guys really stand for. So thank you for doing today's podcast. How can people get in touch?
You can get in touch with me by emailing me at ashley@unityandmotion.com. On LinkedIn, it's Ashley Samuels Mackenzie. Yeah, they're two of the easiest ways to contact me. Always happy for a conversation or to offer some advice or assistance for anyone that is looking to do anything within the visual fields.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us today. I will put those links above. And yeah, take care.
Take care.